Hello, Dunta viewers. This is Out Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Washington Senators. A quick technical note. Thank you very much to the people that mentioned the hum was back in the Monday episode. I've tried moving my microphone, and I'm hoping that will fix it. But I can't obviously guarantee that it will fix it, but I hope that it does. So, what happened last episode? Oh, by the way, I also do apologize for missing that Monday video. I frankly don't know what happened. But anyway, I hope you are having a lovely day if you're sitting down and watching this. And we won the World Series last episode, which is pretty okay, I have to admit. Of all the things that have happened in my life, winning the World Series again is not one of the worst. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this is our final season with the Washington Senators. I know. It's been a really great ride, and a very fun one for me too. Taking a team that had been so disappointing and carrying it over the top to the World Series. And let's be clear, there is a non-zero chance that we might do it again. The AL has been super crazy in the 1950s, and there's been lots of fighting for the pennant. And I certainly can't guarantee that I'll make it again, but I hope I do. And to that end, let's examine our roster. We have some pretty good pitching still. When Harvey Haddix is the worst pitcher you have, that's a pretty darn good pitching staff. Not to mention Jim Bagby Jr., who's almost certainly earned himself an even bigger role on the team this season. In point of fact, we're going to have a long, hard think about whether we want to trade somebody in order to upgrade at other positions. Cecil Travis is 40 and is still putting up pretty remarkably solid seasons. And so I don't really feel pressured to replace him yet, especially when we're quite well set at second base. Now, all that being said, a lot's going to depend on who's available in the draft for us, picking last. We take a quick look at the draft pool. We're going to see a bunch of players I have no chance whatsoever at getting. I was about to say, there's no great hitters in this draft. Passes right past Hank Aaron. And there's Harmon Killebrew and Woody Held. So I want to take a moment to talk about Hank Aaron in OOTP, because anyone who loved Hammer and Hank is going to look at these ratings and say, this is way too low. OOTP is not as kind to compilers as they are to players with really big peaks. You can play with the player creation settings a little bit and mitigate it somewhat. But what Hank Aaron was an amazing baseball player for a very long time. We take a good look at his real-life stats here. He was just ridiculously incredible and consistent for most of his career. And that hurts him in certain Hall of Fame measurements because he was so good for so long that it looks like he doesn't have a peak. He basically just was always great. Now, of course, he's an easy first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think even the most hardened baseball purist would not deny that Hank Aaron is an inner circle first ballot Hall of Famer. It doesn't get much better than Hank Aaron. But that is one reason why, at first glance, he doesn't look like one of the most dominating hitters in Major League history, because he was a compiler. Another example of this is, and I don't think he's been drafted yet, but Don Sutton, who was another guy who had a really long career, but he was very, very good, but never exceptional. Um, and that's the kind of player that just gets hurt a little bit by some of the standards that we trust most when it comes to Hall of Famers. So I don't know who we're going to end up with, but we're going to try to make sure there's somebody who can help our team. So I believe we're all set for coaches. We do have a couple people that we're waiting on signing. That is acceptable. You know what? Did you even look at my offer? It seems like you're just being a jerk for the sake of being a jerk. Well, we got our... Let's get our pitching coach now. I don't really care that much, since I'm leaving this team after this season anyway. But I don't want to leave them deliberately in a bad position. Seriously, no one is offering you more money. They're offering you a better job. So if you take the $3,000, great. If you don't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. There you go. Okay, who won a Gold Glove? Larry Doby. That is extremely good to see. I mean, this is a man who was, by most objective standards, a pretty bad center fielder. He's cost us 4 wins over his career. And now he's a Gold Glove right fielder. That's awesome to see. I'm pretty happy about that. I better get Manager of the Year. That's all I'm going to say. You're damn fucking right. Fred Hutchinson got a Silver Slugger, as did Larry Doby. We got, I won, as I should have. Vern Law got Cy Young, and Larry Doby got MVP. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I think this is objectively one of the best seasons I've had in some time. And I love it. Alright, let's vote for the Hall of Fame, shall we? Starting with the first-timers. No. Yes to Wally Burger. I think that's a pretty easy choice for me. Other first-timers. Dizzy Dean. Meh. Roy Henshaw. Yeah, alright. Shanty Hogan. You have to love a name like that, right? I'll toss Don Hurst another vote. I know I said I was looking at the first... Yeah, Chuck Klein is awesome. Easy choice. Joe Fosmick is borderline. This ballot is so stacked that I'm going to strategically not vote for him to make sure that I cover the other big-name players that I do want to vote for. And if I do find a spot left, I'll consider voting for him. I'm going to vote for Ed Brandt, even though it's not really going to matter, because no one's going to vote for him anyway. But I believe in him. Woody English is a no-brainer, in my opinion. I'm a little bit surprised he wasn't voted in. But then again, we did have a lot of first-timers last year that were clearly pretty dominant. And we kind of had that again this year. Like, the only no-doubter is obviously going to be Chuck Klein. That's an easy choice. There's no way he doesn't make the Hall of Fame on this ballot. Is there anyone else here I consider a definite? I mean, I thought Woody English was definite last year, but, you know, he's Another player who derived a lot of his value from walks, and as we know, Hall of Fame voters don't pay attention to that. Roy Henshaw's got a really decent chance, but it's not perfect. I do think Shanty Hogan is another pretty clear Hall of Famer, though. So I see two pretty clear first ballot Hall of Famers here, in Hogan and Klein. So there's might be room for people like Don Hurst and Pat Malone. Did I just try to call him Paul Hurst? Was that like mixing up Triple H's real name and Triple H's character name? Maybe. I'll vote for Joe Bosmick. I don't think he'll get it, but it makes me feel better. Yeah, Mel, you weren't good enough for long enough. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cast my ballot now. Yeah, I genuinely don't know who I would pursue in the draft right now. We do need a new shortstop. So if Woody Held fell, I'd probably take him. I just don't think it's gonna happen though. I genuinely don't think that Woody Held is going to make it down to my level. Ray Boon was a nice little pickup for me. Very unsung in my opinion, but a very good offensive performer who played well down the stretch and really helped us get where we got. But we're picking 17th overall, so my expectations for who falls to me are not high. Who do you think I end up with? You think I end up with Danny Shell? He's not bad, but this is not the sort of thing that championship seasons are made out of. We'll see who's left. Really, Joe Cunningham makes it over Hank Aaron? I gotta admit, Joe Cunningham looks like a pretty solid player, but he's no Hank Aaron. Is the problem. There's only one of those. Damn. I could get Don Zimmer, and then he'll get a metal plate in his head, and he'll become a coach later on. I think he already had the metal plate in his head. I think he got it in World War II. No, he wasn't old enough to be in World War II. What the hell am I talking about? Maybe he was in Korea. I remember him having a metal plate in his head, and I thought it was for military service, but obviously it wouldn't have been World War II. It would have been like 14. I'm saying this, by the way, to delay making a decision. I guess we could go for Carl Spooner. Like, a truly elite level reliever is an absolute luxury in this era, but there really isn't anybody else there that I'm looking at and saying to myself, they're going to make us better right now. There is no great shortstop in this draft. That hasn't been picked already. Don Zimmer is okay at third. I'm alright at third right now. There is Danny Shell, and he's a decent player, but he'd just be riding the pine. I'm going to take Carl Spooner. And we're just going to have a redonkulously great bullpen. That's all it is, and that's all it's going to be. Any super secret dudes here? Jerry Lynch is a pretty decent power guy. Yeah, alright. He's interesting, I guess. Who is left of any consequence? I mean, we could take Nelly King too. Just hoard all of the relievers. And I'm just going to go ahead and let things get simmed. There we go. Up to the Rule 5 draft. What position would I like to target? I mean, I would like at least a little bit of depth in the outfield. I wouldn't mind a backup shortstop that I could really trust. AKA a backup second baseman. But I think Johnny Logan is just a better fit at second, and I'll probably just keep him there. But are we going to find players like that in the Rule 5? I'm not convinced that we will. Alright, Maurice Vaughn Robes. You are an average pinch hitter. And in reality, below average. Man, Bobby Doerr. Like, look, Bobby Doerr was always a borderline Hall of Famer who got in because he was Ted Williams' best friend. Like, you look at these stats, and you're like, yeah, he's pretty cool, I guess, but he's not clearly a first ballot Hall of Famer by any stretch of the imagination. And that's fine. Not every Hall of Famer has to be one of the very best human beings ever. I was reading an article the other day, less than 2% of all Major League Baseball players are in the Hall of Fame. That's pretty incredible, but also a really good sign. And that's why I've always been kind of a bigger Hall guy. I don't think there's a place for Bobby Doerr, but that's why he got in. He 100% got in because of Ted Williams. No shame in that, but that's how it is. Like so many of the more questionable selections in the Hall of Fame, it's because of the Veterans Committee. But anyway, I'm not going to bother with the Rule 5 draft. Is Junior Wooten any good? He really isn't. You'd have to be pretty desperate to need someone like him on your team. Well, that makes you seem like a dick, but it's kind of, yeah, I'm fine with Wally Berger making it. I don't object to that. I still think it's borderline criminal that Woody English can't get over the hump, but to each his own. I do think that all of these gentlemen deserve to make the Hall pretty clearly. I fucking hate that we don't get real unanimous ballots, not because it's any criticism of this game. It's the game being true to life. But people who submit blank ballots for the Baseball Hall of Fame are just objectively bad people. I'm sorry. That's the hill that I'm going to die on. That it takes... You have to hate fun to just turn in a blank ballot. Because you'd have to look back awfully far in Major League history to find... Oh, damn, don't lose velocity, my guy. I love you. You'd have to look awfully far to find a single Hall of Fame ballot that didn't have at least one Hall of Famer on it. And I don't mean a borderline Hall of Famer either. I mean, like, a genuinely top-tier Hall of Famer. Although part of that is the fact that the writers have been stupid dipshits about people like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Although I do acknowledge... Oh, fuck me. I completely forgot to sign any of my players. Oh, dear. Well... It'd be like that sometimes. I got distracted. That's on me. Oh, wow. I should probably get fired for that. I'm a potato. Like, okay. There's some pretty compelling reasons not to vote for players that were like objectively terrible human beings. And I completely get that, and I completely sympathize with that. But at the same time, Barry Bonds was not that guy. Barry Bonds was a bit of an asshole, but like I grew up watching Omar Vasquel play baseball. And I loved Omar, like every kid in the Cleveland area did that grew up in the 90s. Um, I remember reading Omar Vizquel's autobiography and thinking, this just seems like a good dude. And then it turns out that he is, part of my French, a piece of shit for domestic abuse. And when I read the accounts of what happened, I was pretty upset. Um, I mean, it's a sport. You're not going to get saints. I get that. And I think, like, as another example, though, like, Kareem Hunt's a piece of shit, too, that plays for the Browns, who also abused women. But because I didn't grow up with him, like, he's not, like, a formative part of my childhood memories. It's just, like, the NFL sucks, guys. There's a lot of really nasty people in the NFL that have pretty important positions, and that it just is what it is at this point. And at least in Kareem Hunt's defense, it seems like he's genuinely trying to do better, and that counts at least a little bit for me. It doesn't make up for what he did, but it matters. It matters that he is trying to be better, even if he isn't, or even if he is. It matters, and he's also a lot younger than Omar Vizquel was. It's a little easier to chalk it up to just being, young and stupid. I don't know. Maybe I'm making excuses. I don't want to get too philosophical, but getting back to the big point, though, it really does bother me when Hall of Fame voters just submit a blank ballot just because they want to make it all about them. Like, dude, no one thinks you're cool for submitting your Jeff Kent only ballot. I'm not even going to get into whether or not Jeff Kent's a Hall of Famer. It's on the current ballot to look at it dead in the eye and say Jeff Kent is the only Hall of Famer. Like, you're actively being a dick at that point. Like, there is some active assholeness happening when you make that decision. We don't need Nap Reyes anymore. I'm just gonna see if we can get anybody interesting. Not really. That's fine. Boy, I'm kind of a piece of shit to my team, though, for ignoring... for just flat out ignoring my draft. Bragging about how to have one of the best bullpens in the majors and then signing nobody. Yep. I'm an idiot. That's great, Red. Kindly go away, please. I wonder if Red Embry is any relation to Alan Embry. Probably not, given when Alan Embry played, but maybe. I've certainly heard weirder. Yeah, you can go to the minors, Jerry Lane. Let's go ahead and I'm going to ask you to set up the staff. No. Ron, I like you, but you're no Jim Sucheki. Jim Sucheki is my guy. I love him. By all means, use Rodney Gray more often if you'd like, but he's not the guy. Harvey Haddix had a much better year than Fred Hutchinson. And Fred Hutchinson is also way older. I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. But he would, like, if something happens to a starter, Fred Hutchinson goes right to the rotation. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. And we're going to clear and clear. Tom Morgan does make the roster, so congratulations to Tom. I'm very proud of you. Alright, so we're going to take a look at batting ratings, contact. Okay, when did Ted Kluszewski become a contact machine? That's very cool. Stan the Man is still my number 3, though. He's a little bit too good all around to not be my number 3. Ted's gonna bat 5th. I gotta let Yogi bat cleanup. He's my guy. No, you know what, Yogi? You can bat 5th. Ted Scott is just a little bit of a better hitter than you. Larry Doby hits 2nd. I think it's a natural place. Look at his raw power, by the way. He's turning into a very interesting kind of player. The kind of player that in this time in history would not have done that well. One who's homers and walks and strikeouts. But I mean, hey, the man just won an MVP, so clearly the people don't hate him too much. Leadoff man. It's probably Elmer Vallo. The man gets on base at a good clip. And I don't really have another choice that's obviously better. Like, Gene Stevens is close. But Elmer is the proven hand. I wish Gene Stevens could hit against left-handed pitching. I think that would go a long way to getting him a job every day. But alas, it doesn't. So Elmer, you're going to bat here against lefties. I think Ray Boon is a pretty great candidate to hit 6th and play third base. Man, George Kell's going to hate me. I traded for him. He had an okay season and then just got instantly passed up on the depth chart. Can George Kell play the outfield? No? Okay. Well, I tried. Playing 2nd and batting 7th will be Johnny Logan, and Cecil Travis will continue to bat 8th. No issues there. That's a pretty strong lineup. George Kell is going to be our number 1 pinch hitter and our number 1 backup at 3rd and at first base. I do want him to be a little bit more versatile in case we need him later. John Sullivan is going to play himself some second base and shortstop. No, John Sullivan. Yeah, he's gonna cover those. I will acknowledge we don't know, game. I will acknowledge we don't have very many good defensive subs. So if something happened to Cecil Travis or Johnny Logan, I think we'd be in real trouble. That may be an area to look at to improve on this team. But I just don't know if it'll come up or not. Okay, backing up and left is gonna be Stevens. Will also back up in right. Bob Addis is going to back up in center. And Clint Hartung is going to back up in the corners. Jim Hegan is going to be our backup catcher. Addis can be a pinch hitter. And I guess John Sullivan and Neil Berry can be pinch hitters. Not Neil Berry, Gene Stevens, sorry. I still don't have a very good base running team, and that's fine. I don't really care. Now, I know Valo is the dirt fucking worst against left-handers. That's a real problem. And I don't really know how I fix it. Other than platooning, and I don't have another good platoon candidate on the roster. I would need an outstanding field. I would need an outstanding hitter. Because Tommy O'Brien was not good last season. If I shop Mr. O'Brien, can I get a right-handed hitter to just stand around in the outfield every now and again? Am I really going to turn to Herb Dusac of all players? Oh, wait a minute. You're not the guy I'm thinking of, are you? The one that I... No, I drafted you with the St. Louis Browns. And then I traded you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind having someone like him on the roster. Let me add in Nap Reyes and see if that moves the needle. Let me see if I can get a better... Oh dear, Nap Reyes makes it so much worse. What about Red Embry? Yeah, I'll take Irv. He is very much a luxury that most teams wouldn't need to bother with. But he makes us about 80% deeper. He gives me another excellent fielder if I need one in center. He gives me a really good corner outfielder. And most importantly, he lets me bench... he lets me bench Valo against righties. Or lefties, rather. Now, obviously, Herb Dusac is not leading off. I have my limits with what I will take from a leadoff guy. I'm going to go ahead and make my leadoff man Johnny Logan against left-handed hitting pitchers, because I think he does hit them a bit better. He's actually identical. He is the man of no split. Okay, never mind then. That gets us set up nicely, I think. I think we are good to get simulating. I like how to at least make the playoffs. That seems like, oh dang, Hank Aaron's playing for Cleveland. That's pretty wild. That's pretty bonkers. Harmon Killebrew playing for the Baltimore Orioles. That seems strange. Harmon Killebrew will always be a Minnesota Twin in my brain. Didn't he also play for Milwaukee? No, he didn't. I was wrong about that. But no, I did clearly, not clearly remember him. I mean, the man retired before I was even born, but I clearly have him in my brain as a Twin. And Napre has cleared waivers. He doesn't want to be demoted. You should try sucking less. I do feel like we're kind of doing Nap a bit dirty, just cutting him like that, but I don't care that much. Like, Nap Reyes was a really solid third baseman for us for a while. But he just got lapped. There's no shame in that. Yeah, none of these are really reasons to stop me from simming at this point. Okay. That's cool. Nothing too crazy there. Yeah, I can live with this. We have one bad hitter on this squad, and it's Cecil Travis. You know, I wonder if he actually goes by Cecil, or went by Cecil. I think he's long since departed this mortal coil. I've always called him Cecil, but that's honestly because I watch a lot of British stuff, and also because of The Simpsons with Sideshow Cecil, played by David Hyde Pierce. Anyway. Nah, this is an overreaction to do anything with the bullpen right now. I could have had a better bullpen, but... Ugh. If we make it to the playoffs and our bullpen just gets wrecked, I will have no one to blame but myself. That's bad timing for Clint Hartung. I mean, he didn't have a big role on the team, but he did have a role, which is to be a quality backup outfielder. And it's still kind of a shame that he will not get to do that now. But we have to make do. I'm not even going to pause the sim for that. Fred Hutchinson can easily give us a couple of quality outings while Simmons recovers. Damn, Johnny, you keep getting a little bit better each time. That's excellent news. 5 hits by Ted Kluszewski. That's pretty bonkers. Man, I knew Ted Kluszewski was a great power guy, right? But I never thought of him as a great hitter for average. That almost seems unfair. I mean, the man did hit nearly 300 over his career. And the only reason Ted Kluszewski isn't remembered even more fondly is because his career got cut short. He also didn't age super well. Like, the Ted Kluszewski that played for the Reds was mostly pretty good. And his peak, look at that 1954 rather. Oh, damn, maybe he's just trying to imitate real life. If that's the case, I'm here for it. It is June 1st. Any changes we need to make? Harvey? Buddy? What happened to your walk rate? It seems like you think that walking everyone is a path to victory, and let me tell you, my friend, it is not. I mean, Fred Hutchinson is just Fred Hutchinson. It's not like he's significantly better. Jim Bagby Jr. is fine. Top three are solid. The only actual bad hitter on the team is Cecil Travis. And, you know, when you're 40 years old and still playing at a high level, he's got to be a Hall of Famer, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He got them 3,000 hits, y'all. That's about as guaranteed a shot at the Hall as exists in baseball. Unless you're Rafael Palmeiro. And then you get fucked because of decisions you made. I feel... I'm just going to sign everybody. I feel a little bit better about excluding people that actually genuinely tested positive. I still don't agree with it. My opinion is, and I know this is going to sound hypocritical based on what I just said, is that for the most part, what you did on the field should stand. But another reason I don't like Omar for the Hall of Fame is, you know, looking at things in mature eyes, he's also not a Hall of Famer. Which actually be even more controversial, but I'll back it up by saying that Omar Vasquel was a below league average bat and one of the biggest offensive errors in the game's history. And his defense was good, maybe very good. But comparing him to Ozzie Smith is an insult to Ozzie Smith. Like, Ozzie Smith was below average offensively too. He certainly wasn't a brilliant hitter in his own right. But he was the best defensive shortstop the game has ever seen. And his accomplishments look way better compared to his era. He was not a great offensive player, but he's also in a really bad offensive era. So relative to his competition, he was actually pretty solid. Whereas Omar was defense and stealing some bases. He did get a bunch of hits. That's true. But especially on our current real-life Hall of Fame ballot, there's just no room for Omar, in my opinion. There's just better players on the ballot that I think deserve it more. Although Roger Clemens is a pretty scummy human being, too. And if that's why you don't vote for Roger Clemens, I get it. But don't do it over... He definitely used steroids. He never tested positive. Yeah, he was dodgy as fuck when he went before Congress, but so were a lot of people. If you want to exclude someone because of character, I'm never going to disagree with that. I'm not even going to mention the elephant in the room, Kurt Schilling. What a piece of work. What a piece of work. I don't think there's anything else I need to do right now. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to check and see when the All-Star teams are announced. That's right. I expect there to be many a senator on this team. Vern Law and Jim Suchecki. That's real solid. I like that. Yogi Berra was not the starting catcher of the All-Star game. I mean, come on. Roy Campanella's great. Alright, I'll allow it. Ted Kluszewski made it. Stan Musial made it. Larry Doby made it. Ray Boon made it. It's kind of a surprising All-Star, but a good one. Now, Ray Boon does have pretty incredible baseball genes, as his son is Bob Boon, who was a longtime catcher and a manager, and Bob Boone's son is Brett Boone, who was the second baseman for the Seattle Mariners for a few seasons. None of them genuinely Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion. All very good players, though. And Bob Boone was a pretty well-respected manager. But, you know, being members of the Hall of Very Good is certainly nothing to sneeze at. Gene Stevens, my friend, if you can continue improving your ability to hit for contact, you might find yourself with some additional playing time, my friend. Offensively, we're pretty good. Pretty good. Let us continue on. Okay. Is there anywhere that we could upgrade? So let's first of all talk, how bad actually is Cecil Travis? The man is getting it done with the glove, which is his biggest, most important job. And he's overall been a really solid contributor. But his bat is really bad. If I was going to trade for anything, I would probably trade for that. I would probably try to upgrade a shortstop. If such an upgrade is available, and it may not be. It may not be available. But let's at least kick the tires on a deal. Give me the shortstop. And oh my lord, this is terrible. Yeah, there is literally not a single player here I would even consider for a split second over Cecil Travis. Like, there's some good players on offer, like Bobby Thompson, but I could trade for, like, Bobby Avila and then move what's-his-face to shortstop. I don't think any of these players make our team genuinely better right now, though. So I think I'm just going to pass and continue on with the roster we've already got. Maybe a mistake. Losing Jim Sucheki is kind of rough. Okay, that may be somebody that I actually trade to replace. Because, well... No, Jerry Lane is certainly not an unworthy pitcher. He's maybe not quite as good as Sucheki. But I can always make Negre the guy. Use Tom Morgan more often, please, and avoid high leverage for Johnny Rutherford. Thanks. I appreciate it. Bone chips in your elbow are pretty crazy. It's nothing to fuck with. You would give me the Lee Fund. How about you go fuck yourself? Oh, a good game for Vic Power at my expense, but... We're not getting as many shutouts as we did last season. That is somewhat disconcerting to me. I mean, sure, Harvey Haddix just threw a shutout, but... Is there an upgrade to be made? Can I make this team better somehow? I mean, I could start Fred Hutchinson and let Harvey Haddix have... Yeah, I'm going to start Fred Hutchinson. He's too damn good to keep him on the bench any longer. And hopefully this will let Harvey kind of find himself again. I could use some better bench players, I guess, but I'm not really feeling rushed. You know, I don't really feel like there's a clear way to upgrade this team based on what's available on the market. So let's just keep going. Alright, come on team. Let's do good. Oh no, not John Sullivan. I also didn't re-sign all my coaches, which was my plan. I am a bit scatterbrained today. Good job, Bagby. I want to call him Bagley. I've been playing too much Watch Dogs Legion, I guess. Dust Devils buried, huh? That's right, they're not very good vacuum cleaners. Oh, that's Dirt Devil. That's right. Dust Devil is what you call, like, those really heavy winds you get in the desert sometimes. Dirt Devil is the vacuum cleaner. I should stop trying to be clever. I'm not good at it. Cool. Boom. Okay. Oh, we're playing against the Boston... Wait, what? Why am I playing Boston? Oh, because last game of the regular season. I'm sorry. We made the frickin' World Series for 2 years in a row. Oh really? I can't have another pitcher? Surely I can. I can't have Jerry Lane? There you go. I can have Jerry Lane. Okay, sweet. Awesome. Yeah, let's frickin' go. Milwaukee's who I played last season, isn't it? That sounds right. It is right. Cool. I don't appreciate using Don Newcomb unless Vern Law is too tired, which he is not. Give me that Vern Law footage. Ooh. They did light up Mr. Law here. Why are you skipping Kurt Simmons? What is it about Don Newcomb that you're like, I must start him? Oh, damn. I barely even needed a picture. Look at Yogi Berra. Hitting 3 homers. See? All part of my cunning plan. Letting Don Newcomb pitch game 3. He did have an okay game, I guess. By some standards. Here comes Jim Bagby. Oh. Booyah. Boo fucking yeah. I would actually have made Yogi Berra the playoff MVP because 3 homers is amazing. But Lawyer Dobie was real good too. Man. 2 consecutive World Series titles to end our time with the Washington Senators. Damn, son. I would very much like to talk about how our team did. And see, Hoot Evers is a cheat code. He's too good all the time. I don't really care. So we're going to go ahead and look at our team. Then we're going to sim up to the awards and see what awards we came away with. And then we're going to pick our new team for the next 10 years and see if we can match what we did with the Senators. I'm really proud of this run. Stan the Man was our best player. Larry Doby was real good too. Ted Kluszewski had the best season of his career. Yogi'd it once again. I wonder if Yogi Berra ever gets tired of just being fucking awesome all the time. It's got to get boring at some point. Look at Ray Boon. Like, holy shit, my dudes. If you had told me that Ray Boon would be one of the most productive hitters on the team, The man knew when to have his career year. That's for darn sure. Elmer Valo, mwah. This is what I look for from a man of your stature. That you get on base all the fucking time. The rest of it is gravy. You got on base lots. Cecil Travis did rebound to have a pretty decent season. He's still playing somehow. Then again, my dude, if you can keep putting up 3-win seasons, I don't see why you would retire. You're just making your Hall of Fame case all the stronger. Like, Johnny Logan was our worst everyday starter and still managed 2 wins above replacement. That is fantastic. It's not a great second baseman, though. Nah. Our pitching staff wasn't quite as brilliant as it was last season, but still very good. Very, very good, in fact. It's just that Vern Law did pitch worse than he did the previous season when he won the Cy Young Award. His walk rate jumped, his strikeout rate dipped, his whip went up, but he was still one of the best starters in the major leagues. Kurt Simmons was real good too. I don't know if we have a Cy Young on this staff, to be quite honest with you. I don't think we get anybody to win the Cy Young Award. Maybe we do, but maybe we don't also. So we're going to go ahead and sim up until, whatever. Up until the awards are done. And then we're going to pick ourselves a new team. I got Manager of the Year again, but we didn't get an MVP or Cy Young this year. Nor should we. Larry Doby got his second consecutive Gold Glove. Ted Kluszewski got Silver Slugger, Ray Boon got Silver Slugger, and Larry Doby got Silver Slugger. Nice. All in all, I look back at this franchise, at this team, and I feel pretty damn good about myself. We've accomplished a lot, and we have made one of the more moribund franchises into one of the best. And let me be perfectly clear when I say this. I have every expectation that the Senators win the World Series next year, too. They're just too damn good. That trade from St. Louis is just... It keeps paying dividends. It keeps paying dividends, and I love it. We've had some great drafting, too, though. Larry Doby, a brilliant pick. Yogi Berra, brilliant pick. Johnny Logan, pretty good pick. Vern Law, excellent. Kurt Simmons, fantastic. Don Newcomb, great. Fred Hutchinson was a trade. Harvey Haddix was a starter, though, and he was real good, too. Yeah, we have built ourselves an incredible team through various means, and I'm going to miss him. I'm kidding. A little bit. But I'm not kidding by as much as I thought I would be. I really enjoy this particular team, but it's time for a new challenge. So I shall say, I am quitting. So the first thing I want to check out is which teams have been the roughest in league history. The Tigers have still never won a World Series. The Dodgers have only won one. Kansas City Athletics have only won one. But here's the thing, right? The Tigers have never made the World Series. But they've also fired me twice. And in the immortal words of Michael Jordan, I took that personally. Now, we have a different problem, however, which is that Of the worst franchises, most of them won't even hire me, besides St. Louis. No, I've already done St. Louis. I don't want to play St. Louis again. The fact is, the Tigers and the Dodgers are the two teams that'll hire me, and they're also the two teams that fired me. Man. Man. Are either one of them, like... And neither one of them has a great draft pick either. Wait, of course, the Dodgers don't... Oh, the Dodgers are picking 13th? The Tigers are picking 12th? Were they that good this season? Yeah, they were. Both were quite close to winning their respective pennants. Alright, I need to check my history here. They both fired me not that long ago. I just played the Cardinals, and I played the Braves. And the Phillies. I've never played as Baltimore, but Baltimore is a little bit too good. Like, how bad was Baltimore this season? Baltimore finished second. We're in this really weird space right now where... Like, I thought I'd get more offers, to be quite honest with you. I'm probably going to go back to Brooklyn just because I haven't ever gotten the full 10 seasons with them. And most importantly, this is going to sound extremely selfish, but I really doubt we have much of a chance of going to the World Series in the American League. The Senators are a super team. They're going to be hard to beat. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Brooklyn Dodgers. What kind of team am I looking at with the Dodgers? Okay, Mickey Mantle seems like a pretty good choice to lead your team. As is Red Schoendienst. Let's sort offensive players by overall. You've got Nellie Fox as a backup. That's pretty crazy. Nellie Fox is pretty good. We got Don Hoke at third base. I think he'd be better at first, but I'm not going to argue. We're not great at catcher. How's the pitching looking? How the hell? Oh, because you're actually a starter for most of the season. Okay. The pitching could be a lot better. The pitching could be loads better. Maybe that's where we start. This is not a bad team. But none of the bad teams wanted to hire me. Which I find kind of odd, but I'm okay with it. Hopefully this means this time I don't get fired. But we'll see what happens. Boy, having Mickey Mantle is an awfully good building block is a name. Why did he play in AAA? Did he have like a rehab assignment? Maybe he did. Let us quickly see which positions we might need to hire. No, actually, we're good for coaches. My scouting director isn't great, but I'm fine with it. Coaches could use some upgrades. Anyway, that's going to go ahead and conclude this episode. Before we go, I do want to apologize if I might have offended somebody earlier this episode. I talked about some things pretty cavalierly, and I don't mean it in that way. But I can't remember which baseball Hall of Fame voter just turned in a Jeff Kent only ballot, which I'm not convinced Jeff Kent is one of the 10 best players on the ballot, let alone the best player on the ballot. And I think it just cheapens the game when people don't take it seriously. And hey, it's Tony Piat. He's a bench coach here. Sorry, I got distracted. Sorry about that. And that's just kind of one of the things that makes me grumpy. And then I get, somewhat philosophical about the different characters that Major League Baseball's had over the years. Yeah. But next time around, we'll be playing the Brooklyn Dodgers. Hopefully this time they won't fire us. And this is going to be a very interesting run because we're taking a team that's already been quite successful and just trying to make them more successful. But it'll be fun. I think we'll have a good time. Do let me know in the comments if the audio problem came back. I don't think it did this time. I think moving my microphone helped because I'm not sure the motor might have also been my my fans running in my PC, and my mic was right next to my PC before, so hopefully that fixed it all. But until next time, my friends, thank you very much for watching, and I bid you good day.